Imagine how excited I was to hear about NCIS Tony and Ziva and NCIS Origins, particularly NCIS Tony and Ziva, but I'll get to that in another video. Let's talk about NCIS Origins. So I had the opportunity of watching the first few episodes of that show. Yes, it started off fairly okay, could have been better, but it's a little bit slow in terms of the build up. And I'm thinking that most of us who actually have been watching that show from ever since its inception in 2003, the original NCIS that is, we've always wanted to know what happened between Leroy Jethro Gibbs' character and Palermo Renosa's family, particularly her father, and of course, in subsequent episodes in NCIS, she actually took revenge for her father against Leroy Jethro Gibbs and his team. But what really happened? I'm thinking that within the first few episodes, the storytellers would have actually established what took place between the Renosa cartel and Leroy Jethro Gibbs. They really wanted to get down to the meat of the matter, their interaction. How did they end up crossing each other's path? What took place? What did Leroy Jethro Gibbs do, or what did the Renosa cartel, what had they done? So we could actually get a firm footing going forward with NCIS Origins in order to just be, building up that anticipation, be very anxious for the next follow-up episodes. But so far, it hasn't really accomplished that, and right now we're in the kind of relationship story where this thing between Leroy Jethro Gibbs' character and Lala, Dominguez, I'm trying to figure out where that is going, because at some point my impression that I'm getting is that she's going to be killed off in some episode, probably this season, probably the next season, depending on if they go forward with season 2, which I suspect they will. And, besides that, I had another question as to why Mark Harmon's son, one of his sons, never actually took over the starring role in NCIS Origins as a younger Gibbs. But hey, I'm not sure, sounds a little bit controversial. But for now, I'll leave that alone and continue with Austin Stowell's character. He seems pretty good so far. He has pretty much immersed himself into the role. It's funny how they managed to find somebody to fill the position of Mike Franks. He's doing a pretty good job also. As a matter of fact, all the characters on the show, Abercrombie, Dominguez, every other character on the show, they've actually been doing a pretty good job so far. It's just the storytelling of, this whole thing between Gibbs and the Renosa cartel. They haven't established that, and I'm kind of wondering why. How come they haven't established that within the first few episodes, because they only show when he was on an army base, and then all of a sudden, he got news that his family was assassinated, and then, you don't know why. So why haven't they established that? Are they going to be doing it in subsequent episodes? How long will we have to wait to see that? So I'm just waiting to see how that will turn out. But so far, it's a pretty good show. It's one that I look forward to seeing every week. And the characters are on point. There isn't much violence. That's kind of funny. I mean, I know it's NIS and not NCIS yet, but I'm expecting a little bit more gunfiring. I'm not seeing that. It's mostly like, just investigative stuff. And a naval investigative service, yes, I get that. But if you remember with NCIS, the original NCIS, I mean, Gibbs' character was on point. You never know who is going to shoot next week, or who another character is going to shoot, or who will be losing their life. You don't know. And one of the things I must make a point is that with the NCIS not Origins, but NCIS, the original series, they had a way, and I said this in previous videos from before, they have a way of allowing you to fall in love with certain characters, but then those characters end up being assassinated. You remember Sasha, you remember Diane, Mike Franks, I think, was taken out by the port-to-port killer. You remember these things, and I'm like, okay, but then these were actually, well, I think Sasha wanted to leave the series, and they thought the best way to have her leave was to get her assassinated by Ziva's brother. And that actually just triggered, like a shock. Like that sends shockwaves amongst the TV audience as to how you could do this. But then they never realized, based on what I read, that, Sasha Alexander actually wanted to leave the series. And then guess what? Ziva came and fit her position very, very well. So I'm like, they managed to do that. And so far, since, who was the last person to have died? I think it was Diane was killed by Ziva's brother. Yeah, I think that's how it worked out. And I'm thinking that if anything, they should actually, well, no, if you're gonna be killing off another character, probably it must be one of the central stars, but somebody on the wayside, somebody on the left wing or the right wing, somebody who we haven't seen much of their presence. I mean, Tobias Fornell, no, I wouldn't think his character should be assassinated, but I'm thinking somebody else, someone else, within one of the offices, somewhere along the line, but bring back some raw action in the series, so the television audience like myself can really look forward even more to see another episode of NCIS, NCIS Origins, and I'm certainly hoping that NCIS Tony and Ziva will be bringing the action. Of course, it's going to be both of them. Tony and Ziva, you're expecting love, you're expecting, good romance, you're expecting comedy, but I'm looking forward to action. I mean, this is Tony, an ex-police officer who became an NCIS agent. This is Ziva, a former Mossad operative who became an NCIS agent, and, like I said, I'll be getting to that in a moment, but I'm thinking Origins, it's pretty good so far, but it requires more action. I'm thinking that, some more intense action. The build up should be there. But somewhere along the line, I'm wondering if they're creeping up to that. Because, like I said, I'm getting the impression that Leroy's character and Lala's character will start a relationship, but since she never ended up in the original NCIS, and since somewhere along the line, Jenny, who was the director in NCIS, I think the second director in the original NCIS, she and Leroy Jethro Gibbs had a relationship based on NCIS, what the story that they told. I'm like, okay, so somewhere along the line it seems as if Lala will be making her exit. I'm not sure where, but I'm certainly hoping that as the show goes along it will get more interesting. I'm certainly hoping that the action pieces will be even more vibrant, let you just look, oh my gosh, instead of, okay, all right, that just happened. So I'm looking forward to that. So far it's steady. I'm looking forward to them continuing to make it. I'm looking forward to a season 2. Eventually, I get to understand that they'll be continuing with a full season of season 1, meaning typically for an NCIS show, that's like, what, about 20 episodes or somewhere therein. So I'm looking forward to a full season 1 of NCIS Origins. But they have their work cut out, they have things to do. I'm looking forward to things settling out well. So you guys, tell me what you think. Subscribe, like, pass your comments, tell your friends and family about this channel, Many Moods of Maverick. Have them subscribe too. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. So have a God bless evening.